right, welcome back to my channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. We're welcome back again. You're welcome back. You're welcome back. So I saw a video of one a Ghanaian man, and he said something very, very interesting about an Igbo Biafra man who lives in Ghana, right? And according to him, the man purchased a very good land and he wants to dominate. They is causing controversy, like a problem between Ghanaians, and they are kind of worried. But I thank God that some of them are quite sensible, especially that our brother. But we are going to take it step by step. Then I'm going to bring to you what a Yoruba man did about it, because one thing is Ghanaian complaining about it. Another thing is what lead them or who is behind the push of targeting people, names and start dragging them and all that. This is not to call for a war. I'm not here promoting any war, any killing. I'm not in support of criminality. We don't support it here. This channel, we try our best to see things the way it is. Do you understand? So it's not about attacking Yoruba people or Yoruba nation, no. But anytime you have this kind of people, Afonjas and the Fulefulism, this is a Fulef people from eastern part and Afonja from west, and all that, they behave alike. But the difference between a Fulef and Afonja is simple. A Fulef are those that are attacking in this context, okay? In this context, a Fulef are those that are attacking their own people. They channel their health and their energy against their own people. Whereas Afonja are those that are, no matter what Igbo man do, that is where they have strength to talk. Like they see Igbo man as non-human being. They reject you. Everything about Igbo is a kind of a taboo to Afonjas. So it's not the same, but they have similarity, which is stupidity. People who they don't know how to balance ideas, like to discuss things objectively. They don't want to see things in an objective way, like in a normal way that people can like the way it is, without adding their own, sentiment on that, trying to use their own hatred on or their own personal interest to talk down or to promote. They promote like Afonja will promote themselves and their tribe, which is where you have this bigotry and everything, tribalism and and the rest of them. That is what they do. But a Fulef will pretend to be, for everybody, and in his own mind, to be for everybody, he must downgrade his race and talk bad about his people. For that is what he thinks that will make you an outsider to see him as somebody who is objective in terms of reasoning. Now, why I'm saying this, because we are going to, we get to the point where this thing I said then will make more sense to you. But before then, let us go straight to this short clip before the main clip himself. The reason is because it is always good for us to start, the way it's supposed to be. Many of you have seen this video. Many of you know what we're talking about. Some may say, okay, it doesn't matter. After all, this man, he has made his money. Why are you attacking him? I'm not attacking him. But I want us to understand that sometimes in life, you need to face your problems squarely without adding anything. Otherwise, you end up, doing what you're not supposed to do and thinking that you're achieving something, or maybe you are going to offer solution to the problem at hand. This man here lives in Ghana. Now, pay attention because it will make more sense to you.
Igbo king. That means you stand, and looking at you as an Igbo king, that means you stand solely for the people of the Igbo land. Do you allow other tribes from other places like Nigeria and other places right here in Ghana to come to you for assistance just in case they need any?
Yeah, Jesus is the savior of the world, but he started from Israel. So the the tribe that made me to sit where I am today is the Igbo tribe.
Yeah.
But remember that I'm a Nigerian. Igbo is inside Nigeria.
Yeah.
And every Nigerian, every Igbo man will believe so much in ourselves. As soon as you cross the border, you are not seeing like Igbo again, like Yoruba again, like Hausa again, but you see like a Nigerian. So the throne of the diaspora Igbo throne in Ghana is protecting Igbos, defending Igbos, projecting Igbos, defending Nigerians, projecting Nigerians, and all tribes in Nigeria. In extension, also support everybody that comes around us, irrespective of the country where you're coming from and the tribe where you're coming from.
Did you hear that? This is just one of the few seconds, clip from an interview that he granted probably to a Ghanaian television or broadcast or podcast. I don't know. But the only thing is that the man you saw there, he is an Igbo man, quote unquote, the king in Ghana or something like that. I have thought about this in the past years, very long time ago. Okay, so and maybe 3 years ago, maybe 2022, when I started, I think 2022 or 2021, then, but I'm sure it's more than 2 years now. There's a program that I did here, and with that video, I somehow thought this kind of thing because I can remember vividly where we thought that is the case of a Igbo man in Yoruba land, the king that they arrested. You remember that nobody knows his whereabouts until now. I'm not a fan of having Igbo man, Igbo king, Igwe, is it Igwe? What they call it? They're normally like this a king, but there's a word. Is it Eze? Eze ndị Igbo na Brazil, Eze ndị Igbo na Dubai, Eze ndị Igbo na London, Eze ndị Igbo na Texas, Eze ndị Igbo na South Africa. I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it because only Igbo tribe seem to become Eze. You have all of a sudden you don't have Eze in abroad, but when you get home, you are not Eze. Eze should be home and abroad. I don't believe having Eze everywhere. Every corner you come, you have Eze in Igbo. If you want to form a maybe welfare meeting, like people that care for each other, it makes more sense. But this is the king. You just buy, you sit down, a king. It makes our king look weak. That is my own opinion. That's number one. Number two, it is good to be a philanthropist in the midst of people that will appreciate you. This idea of Igbo man like Alex Oyama, you have an airline, but anywhere they have Igbo, any Nigerian stranded people, you donate your airline to bring them. It's very good. Many of them are Igbos, many of them are Nigerians that actually don't need help. I agree. But as you are doing that, people are seeing that you are it's like you are forcing yourself on them. I don't know. This is my own opinion, okay? I'm not here to tell you how to think or how to reason. I'm not speaking for you. You can see this is just like a reaction video. That's why I said we don't support crime or killing of anybody. But when we see tribalism and hatred, we have to call it out. Yes, it is not a cook-up story. It's not a make-up story, or it's not just a Test by Moonlight story like that. No, that Igbo people are being hated. We are being hated everywhere. It's in Nigeria, not everywhere. In Nigeria, and in outside. Whenever you see any other country people, any other outside country, maybe South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Cameroon, other country, whenever you see them, whenever you perceive the same hate that you perceive as Igbo man in Nigeria, go and do your research. The people behind it are the so-called people that are behind the hate in Nigeria. And as Nigeria is today, the tribe that hated Igbo so much is Yorubas. Yoruba people have proven that to be true. I used to hear that, and I somehow I doubt. And these Yorubas are mainly the Afonjas. Some may say, oh, they're not non-educated. No, they are. Many of them are sound academically. But the bigotry, the hatred, the tribalism in them is in their bone marrow, like it is inborn, follow come, original. No, I'm not saying this for you to love me or hate me. That's just the raw truth. As a Yoruban man watching, you may be exempted, but majority of you people hate Igbo people for just for being an Igbo, and that's why some people said that is just a kind of they are showcasing tribal hatred because of your achievement, because of who you are. Yes, it could be, but I'm not sure that is all. Then we still have few elements of Yoruba people that are not only educated, but they are sound in mind, very reasonable, and they hate to see their brother behaving that way. That is also a fact. That's why it won't be right for you to go all out on entire Yorubas. I have some people that I know that are very, very, very reasonable as Yoruba people. So it cannot be all the Yorubas. Then we still have people in Igbo land that are more deadly, and their own hate is on us. They hate us with everything in them, and they speak Igbo. Yes, sometimes we may say they are not original Igbo. Maybe they are this kind of what do they call them? Fulani born or something like that. It could be true, but are we the only race that have other blood in our midst? No. Yorubas have Igbo people in their midst. The Hausas are there. You understand? They have they kind of this married a kind of, they have exchanged blood by marrying from other tribe and all that. Does it mean that everybody from there, the Afonjas, they are the same different blood? That's why they are Afonja? No, it's not true. Why I'm saying this, we are going to hear it. But before we move to that, let us hear the reaction of a Ghanaian to this story of Igbo man. Maybe he will tell the story better than I do, because I think as a Ghanaian, as people that are facing the threat, there's something that he said that actually made me to decide to react on this. I wanted to react on this video yesterday, but on the second thought, I said, okay, let me just wait. And I'm not regretting that I waited, because today we don't have an audio, or should I say, a kind of Twitter space where Yoruba man appeared there and begin to dish all manner of lie and begin to expose himself, the hate that they always have against Igbo people. So after this interview now, after this Ghanaian man, I will now give you that video. Now listen.
Development creeping up in Ghana, and every well-meaning Ghanaian will have to sit up and grant me your attention for just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. A man born in Nigeria who settled in Ghana some decades ago and over time became well-respected leader among his tribesmen has now set up a kingdom for himself in our country, ladies and gentlemen. He is an Igbo man bearing the title Eze Chukudi Ihenetu. I hope I'm saying it right. He has the title Eze Indi Igbo, which translates King of Igbo people in Ghana. His tribesmen in Ghana crowned him this position and the title in 2012. And
now listen, let me take it back a bit, and I'm trying to see how I can put on this
disturbing development creeping up in Ghana, and every well-meaning Ghanaian will have to sit up and grant me your attention for just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
A man born in Nigeria who settled in Ghana some decades ago and over time became well-respected leader among his tribesmen has now set up a kingdom for himself in our country, ladies and gentlemen. He is an Igbo man bearing the title Eze Chukudi Ihenetu. I hope I'm saying it right. He has the title Eze Indi Igbo Ghana, which translates King of Igbo people in Ghana. His tribesmen in Ghana crowned him this position and the title in 2012. And these are his images, ladies and gentlemen. A very fine gentleman whom we are told is married to a Ghanaian. And as a typical Ghanaian, ladies and gentlemen, I have no problem with that. at all. But many people, including myself, will have a problem with anyone or any situation that has the potential to undermine our sovereignty as a republic. What has made our country livable for all people for many years is our hospitality towards one another and to foreigners, ladies and gentlemen. And that cannot be circumvented by any external tribe nor group of people. Ghana has a common chieftaincy practice of installing foreigners as development chiefs for the purpose of providing value to our local communities. This is a typical thing in Ghana. And hence, I thought what this man and his tribesmen were doing was something in line of that. Until, ladies and gentlemen, I read from an internet publication that they, and I mean the Igbo people, or he as a king in Ghana, has acquired acres of lands to build an Igbo town and establish an Igbo kingdom within Ghana. This is where I became disturbed, even though I'm yet to see any substantive evidence for this acquisition. That would be totally unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow Ghanaians, I want to believe this is a falsified story. But if not, this is not something we should entertain or allow to continue. Ghana is a sovereign country alongside our kings and our chiefs. They are called kings and chiefs for historical reasons. They have fought and protected their lands and been the source of the unity of our people till this modern era. It is not a title given out of charity, ladies and gentlemen. There is a meaning and a story behind every stool or throne in Ghana. There is a story behind every stool, land, and family lineage that authenticates the royalty of our kings and chiefs. These institutions are not to be toyed with nor replicated in any shape or form, ladies and gentlemen. People have fought and died in the protection of their clans and tribes and lands in Ghana. It used to be our system of governance before the colonizers came in, and therefore should be respected whether by foreigners or locals, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening with this self-acclaimed king of Igbos in Ghana, if true, will be a direct infringement on our chieftaincy structure and the sovereignty of our country as a whole. This cannot happen in any other region outside of Accra, and even in Nigeria. Can this even happen in Ashanti region, ladies and gentlemen, or any of the northern regions? In fact, this shouldn't happen in any other country, and shouldn't happen for that matter in Ghana. The Igbo people of Biafra need a king and true leadership in these times of struggle for an Igbo nation. That cannot be done in a strange land. What this man is trying to do in Ghana will undermine his own people's effort for freedom from Nigeria. And I don't think his intention is to create a kingdom here in Ghana and move his people along. If he indeed has the resources and the know-how to lead his people, this is the time to stand up strong for your people in Abia and Anambra and Ebonyi and Enugu and in Imo states in Nigeria. Biafra is at crossroads with the federal government of Nigeria, and we as Ghanaians don't want to meddle in that. To be crowned a king is not simply by an election. It must be tied to the lineage of your family, the land of your tribe or family, the historical achievements or significance of your family name in relation to the community you lead, ladies and gentlemen. You don't just blip on the radar in a community that has its own leadership structure and annex your throne to theirs, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how it's done, and doesn't make you a king nor a leader. And one reason we have to make this topical is because of how politicians relate with them. During the times of the formal government or the president, this man was seen, invited, and associated with the leadership of our country. And before the elections were held last year, he paid a visit to our current president. This is what he has used to gain for himself the popularity and the needed attention, ladies and gentlemen. But that's definitely not what Ghana needs at this time. We are not in need of more kings and chiefs, ladies and gentlemen. We have a diplomatic relationship with Nigeria, and that should be observed. The idea of our immigration officers inviting him and working with him is not going to be a healthy thing for Ghana and Nigeria's relationship in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to pay attention to all these.
Now, let me come in here. You know, this he started well, right? what he says so far to me, I can relate, because if I am in his position, I may end up saying the same thing Latin. Yeah, right. I cannot imagine, wake up in the morning and start seeing one man who called himself, let's say Alhaji or Emir somewhere at my backyard, that he owns acres of land, and every time I check news, or I watch news, I will see him having handshake with my leader and my government, that kind of thing. I feel worried, to be honest. Then, but where he says something that like destroy everything that he says so far is that this man's existence in Ghana will somehow, at the long run, jeopardize the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria. He can listen to him, you can tell that he know a little bit about issue of Biafra freedom. All right. And he gave a very good advice that since you have all this money, why don't you use the money and support your people in Abia? He mentioned Southeast State. Means that he have done his own work, trying to know who are these Biafra, how many states are Igbos in Nigeria, and what is the landmark and all that. You can see he knows what he was saying. He understands it, and he's not against Biafra freedom. That's another good thing. But where I paused and I was like, where he said that allowing this man will jeopardize the relationship between him and between Nigerian government and the Ghanaian government, the diplomacy and everything. That brings me to the main issue. Okay, if you think that, what do you think that this man present will jeopardize between your relationship? The man sees himself as a Nigerian. You are doubting him. You see, everybody that somehow, whether you are in support of Biafran freedom or not, directly or indirectly, whether you are one Nigerianist, directly or indirectly, you end up there must be a time where some of you that are telling us, you are Nigerian, we are one Nigeria. There must be a time. There's not always a time that you people will be the one reminding us, you are not all that Nigeria. Your Nigeria is not all that bright like my own. Because imagine if he presents himself as Nigerian. Even Ghanaian government know that he's not fighting for freedom, he's not interested in Biafra, then he's the Nigerian that, see himself as the king of Igbo and all that. That is what the prophet that he want to live with. Now, if you feel so somehow irritated, or you are not contented with the way he's living in your land in Ghana and calling himself king of Igbo and acquired acres of land, he did not acquire that by conquest. Let it be on record. He did not acquire this land by conquering you. The government, of course, must have given him document that certify that he purchased these lands. You did not raise this concern when he was paying for that land, are you? You don't. But now that he paid money and everything, now it's not an issue. This is what Igbo will keep all of you as an Igbo man. This is Ghana. This is Ghana. And Ghana people have a kind of, I believe the way some of them when I see some of them, I feel like I'm seeing Yoruba man. I see them like being a cousin. I don't know the history between Ghana and Yoruba people, but I don't know why I feel like when I see them, I see Yoruba through them, but not bigotry side of Afonja Yorubas. No, it's not hatred. No, but the way they talk, the way they look, their body, their skin color, everything. So I see through them. I see Yoruba through them. Do you understand? I see Yoruba in them, rather. That is a story. That is another from that day. It's not an issue, though. I just want to make that clear, because sometimes they kind of like this man now. He's worried, like the same worry that Yoruba often show when an Igbo man show up. They say when an Igbo man appear in anything, everybody sit up. And the history have it that the Igbo man have not conquered anybody or tried to grab your land. But why this hate? Now, you as an Igbo man, you know this that is a concern already, right? Now, this man did not start because he said that he read maybe social media publication or anything at all. He don't mention the source. The source of the publication that he write could be from a man or a woman from Nigeria. Those who know how to hate Igbo people very, very well. The source of the publication is not, he don't reveal the source, but that's the source of another day. And I will tell you why I felt that he read the source that he read that he talked about could be from someone who also one of those in Nigeria that derive joy, that even do you know, anyway, I'm coming to that. That derive joy in seeing woman going down. Okay. That is where he got the message from, and all that. Now, as an Igbo man, you have seen all those things, and you know, no matter how rich you are, you always a suspect, and you always been, tagged to be what you are not. I don't think the man in Ghana is trying to build a country in Ghana. That's wrong. I don't think that the man is building a community for Igbo people in Ghana. That is wrong. If you actually know Igbo man truly, an Igbo man will build a community like let's assume that he want to build that acres of land. He want to build a town that is known for maybe his name, King Igbo town in Ghana. It only end there. You see that name? That Igbo town in Ghana. That's where it ends. The people that will occupy that land will be mainly foreigners. Igbos are there, but can never. An Igbo man cannot build this kind of thing and restrict other tribe or other people from going there. Is a lie, because many of us want to show, our wealth, what we can do. We want to count on number of people that we are taking care of. Some people are like that. Many people are like that. So the question is that what you want or not? Is that what they want? You need your freedom. This man cannot finance, but imagine an Hausa man of that level that has what claim. I don't know how worthy he is. That's what I'm trying to choose my word. And also a Fulani man that is in his level, okay, financially, will not even do the focus will be on how to finance people. You see all this middle belt, and even people would have been in a serious war with them came over, and the government wouldn't have done anything because the machine and everything that will become, everything will be there. But Igbo man will always be an Igbo man. Even if you do that, they will sabotage you, they will do everything. So this fear and panic from Afonja, and they are transferring that to other countries is laughable. Very, very laughable. You as an Igbo man, you better retrieve your steps. I wish that this man, if I have access to talk to this man, I would have advised him on what to do. Because all these things that not only him, many thousands of our people are like this. You have the money, but you are putting it in a place, negatively. You are spending it, you are making your investment in the wrong environment. Some of you are even making it with the wrong people. You are putting your investment, in those places that you are not sure of, that may turn around to be, a very sad thing to you later. Ghana is not there. I'm not saying you should not invest in Ghana. I don't know much about Ghana, but what I'm trying to say is that even if you want to acquire, you do those things. You need to understand that your land, the one you have, your ancestral land, is under threat. Not just mere threat. It is set on your face, and that's why if you travel back to Nigeria, for example, now he will have mobile police all over him. That the number of security that he will use in his homeland will be, if he's using one in Ghana, he will use 13 in Nigeria. If he used 13 in Ghana, he will use 36. It just high figure, because your land, the threat is too much. Now, I don't want it to be too long, but I guarantee you that it could be too. It will be very long. But please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you tell us, not only me, what you think about it, because let the comment, go to comment section and let us hear from you.
Nigeria has a high commissioner in Ghana. He is the representation of Nigerian government in Ghana. He is the one to be consulted or engaged on whatever the issues may be. Ladies and gentlemen, we the people of Ghana must be vigilant with the happenings in our country. We have come a long way with our differences, and that shouldn't be undermined under any circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome people from every part of Africa and the world to our country because that is who we are as a people. We are inherently peaceful people who just want to go about our business and live in peace with all men. We have what many African countries never had. We are one of the few African countries that has never experienced a civil war since independence, and we've had a stable democracy in the last 33 years. We have successfully seen the transition of political powers in that time frame, ladies and gentlemen, and we cannot be naive of the threats to these achievements. There is absolutely no need nor room for an Igbo king of Ghana or Yoruba king of Ghana or any sort of king on our land. How does it even work, ladies and gentlemen? Does it mean we will have to resort to him when an Igbo person is at loggerheads with our laws or not? That cannot be, because no Nigerian travels to Ghana or to any country on a passport issued by an Igbo state. It is Nigeria we deal with and should remain so until there is a country called Igbo. Nigeria is a friend and a strategic partner of Ghana, and that is how far it should go. A similar thing was happening in the Adan area in the Greater Accra region when a group of Lebanese people bought lands and wanted to build a Lebanese community that will prohibit Ghanaians from accessing it, ladies and gentlemen. They likewise wanted a town and a system for themselves within Ghana. Could that ever happen in Lebanon or in Nigeria for Ghanaians under any circumstance? Ladies and gentlemen, let's be guided and not be naive. What then becomes of our originality should that happen on our soil? It is true that historically the Ga tribe originated from an Igbo community in Nigeria, but those who actually migrated left for a reason and chose to stay and not return. They have since then installed their own kings and chiefs at this point and contributed significantly to our nation's building. The Ga tribe in Ghana live a completely different reality from the Igbos in Nigeria. Don't let the few overlapping cultural similarities confuse you. They've moved on, and we should leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Ghana has its own problems to deal with. Let everyone go and deal with their problems in their individual countries. Our chieftaincy problems are already a headache for us. We don't need more. And this is my message to the Igbo king in Ghana. Oga, we have welcomed you with an open arm and made your stay comfortable in Ghana. We have given you a home away from your home, something that should be respected. Don't start anything that will ruin this situation. I'm told you are a generous man who has helped many of our people in the community you live, and that's totally welcomed, Oga. And I understand you are doing this for the interest of your tribesmen in Ghana. That is totally welcome. But please be reminded and be guided that Ghana is not the designation for your kingdom. That will be in Nigeria. You are at liberty to live within the confines of our laws and borders for as long as you would want. But that should be it, Oga. Our politicians may make promises to you and grant you access to certain high-profile meetings in the country. But we, the people, will see you for the foreigner that you are. As it stands now, there is no indication in any official government publication or credible Ghanaian website or media that suggests that your stool has been gazetted in Ghana. Let's leave it at that, Oga, and let's allow for Ghana to continue to live in the peace that we have. Thank you for watching, and hope this video finds its way to him, and hope to catch you in the next one.
Now, before any other thing, I just want to quickly say something about what he just said. The truth is that, like I said earlier, I'm not in support of anybody building a kingdom to any country. Focus on your land, support your freedom, stand on your freedom. Then he says something that's a tribe in Ghana, because I'm not even aware of that has link to Igbo people that is in Ghana. He just mentioned that. It's not a kind, I don't know, I can't remember the name. Maybe after this video, I will try my best to do some research on that. if that is the case, you don't have right to tell them what to do. That's not the fact. Because I somehow somebody told me, but I am not saying that I have verified that Yorubas also have link to what is the name of the Benin Republic. So are you trying to tell us that it is a taboo for Yoruba to connect with the people in Benin? No. These are historically they are from there. If you check DNA, so if you carve anybody, this cut and join creation that you guys have done in Africa is actually the reason why people are still going back to where they come from. So if you said let us leave it like that the way it is, you don't. Who gave you the mandate to say that? I'm not in support of that, and that I'm not saying that you should give the land to Igbos to come and Igbos in Ghana should now come and own the land in Ghana. No, but if there's any tribe that is Igbo tribe in Ghana, see them as Igbo they are, even though they are Ghanaians, because in Ghana is not from one family; it's combination of many people, a lot of tribes, just like in other countries, which Nigeria wanted to do their own, but unfortunately we fall in the hands of Fulani. Because imagine if Yoruba, Igbo, and other tribe without Fulani is Nigeria, what we are expecting now would have been the case. Yes, the hatred and the animosity and envy and jealousness and everything that is eating some Afonja up, that would have been the order of the day. To be honest with you, it will still be there. They will still have it. But this issue of conquest and grab land, yes, Yoruba have history of grabbing land. That is not a fact, but not as aggressive as Fulani. Okay, if that makes sense. So, and Yorubas are civilized and educated. They cannot come and they don't live this life of Fulani. No. So yes, the country may not be excellent, but at least it would have been better than what it is now. That is just fact. If Yorubas, if other tribe minus Fulani, if Nigeria was built like that, there's no way it would be as bad as it is now. Okay. Now, this is the part that triggered me. Is this one?
Ritual money. After gaining their heart, they now went and bought 50 acres of land. What next? To flood the terrorists. Before you know, Ghana will start experiencing what Nigeria is experiencing today. Before you know, Ghanaians cannot work in the night anymore. One sister said this thing just now. An Igbo guy go to Ghana, start videoing, making videos, claiming he is a content creator, start telling them that, oh, Ghana can work in the night, oh, Ghana can, white people can work in Ghana freely. Oh. He's trying to attract terrorists to Ghana. Before you know, the whole Igbo will flood Ghana and start doing all sorts of nonsense. They say they are Biafra.
Nah, this is a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man is here claiming that Igbos are terrorists. Claiming that Igbos are terrorists. In fact, let me allow this to roll. My God, watch.
But when you catch them that, oh, we are Nigerians, sir. You understand? You see how they are. Let me tell you how the Igbos operate so that you will know. An Igbo man will come to this platform right now or walk up to you face to face and tell you, oh, we are not aware that this man is claiming to be king in Ghana. Oh, we are not. He is a liar. The Igbos, they have groups where they discuss everything they do. Do you know this thing that is going on in Ghana? Majority of the politicians in Nigeria are funding it. They are aware of it. You see the reason why we don't want to vote for
sorry to say, you believe that former governor of Imo State came to visit this man, Okosha.
Okay, good. You see him?
Former governor of the state came to visit this man in Ghana. What is their motive?
Hold on, Josh. See, Ghanaians, there is no Igbo, big or small, that is different. They are all acting like ships. Ships, when you are leading ships, they go to one direction. Mm-hmm. That's how the Igbos are. Both big and small. Both the ones are abroad. They are sponsoring. If there's one of my friends called Ikwere, I would like to bring him to this platform. You try to put him on big screen. He will show you a lot of things. Do you know that the Igbos went to import guns to bring to Nigeria to empower their terrorist group. You see the reason why they don't like Buhari, because Buhari dealt with them badly. He dealt with them, the terrorist group. They are in Igbo land. There are some communities in Igbo land that you cannot go to. They have unalived so many people in that community. That's why you see them running to Ghana. This thing Ghanaians are doing is paining me. It's making me angry. That's why you see South Africa. I love South Africa people so much. Ghanaians are coming online to talk about this for what? If it's South Africa people, they will take action straight. You understand? Why come online to discuss what we do? Take action straight. Why should they allow such thing to happen in your country? For what reason? Somebody who is not indigenous of your country, you are not from a royal family in Nigeria. Your father is not a king. You don't have a royal blood. You just went to a country, a peaceful country in Africa, to buy. If you see this, if you should investigate deep now, you see that majority of this money that came for this land were donated by the big men, the Igbo elites. They made this donation so that they will expand their terrorist group into Ghana. They can't try this in Benin Republic. They can't try it in Togo because those French people, they don't take shit. They deal with them squarely. It's because Ghanaians are peaceful people, and the president of Ghana and president of Nigeria, they are like siblings. They just laugh and joke over things. You know, this is a serious matter that you don't need to wait for government. Let the people of Ghana start protesting now. They must stop this nonsense. Otherwise, your country, in years to come, you start experiencing what we are experiencing in Nigeria. These people are terrorists.
I see that happen. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. You know what?
Right now,
I'm going to, because of the minutes of the video. Honestly, this video is 41 minutes already. So, what will happen during the live stream? Because I'm going to come live today. We are going to start with this particular video. Then, because if you are to digest it, he said a lot of things, to be honest with you. It's quite funny, very, very funny. But like I said, I'm going to leave it there. Let us watch it during our live stream today. Okay, this afternoon or evening, we are going to, I don't know, based on my time, let's say 3 p.m. different time, thereabouts. Okay, so I will try my best. Anytime, just keep your eyes on that. We are going to start with this video. So therefore, I did not say anything on what he said. I'm gonna say something. I will play it again and make my. I will let us just, maybe you yourself can join me. We are going to think, analyze it or somehow make a comment on that. But it's very, very funny, honestly. If I know that this is what he said, I did not play it for the first time. So yeah, I just read the title. I said okay. But I didn't know that what he said here is he just messed himself up, honestly. Anyway, please keep your eyes on that, and please, before you go, like the video and subscribe to the channel. God bless you and see you again. Let me know what you think about all we have said so far. I want to read the comments. If I did not comment on your comment, if you did not see my reaction on your comment, that doesn't mean that I did not read it. I do read it, and sometimes I just give like and love and go. Some I did not give anything, because there are so many messages. So I have to go through it like I promised. I want to know your thing. That's why sometimes I screenshot some of the comment and use it here, so that you yourself that made the comment will know that truly I pay my attention. I spend my time to read your comments. Please like the video and share it to many platforms of your choice. Let me know what you think about it. God bless you, and bye-bye for now. Take care of yourself.